Your pain is not a random ache. It weaves a pattern, like an old tapestry. Threads of memory, belief and hope, all tied together by unseen hands. Every time it returns, it asks the same question. Will you listen? Tonight we sit with that pattern, not to rush it away, but to trace its lines, to find the story hidden beneath each wound. Because beneath every pain lies a truth waiting to be spoken. And when you understand the story, the ache begins to soften and the self begins to heal. In the quiet chambers of our minds, where echoes and whispers reside, we embark on a sacred exploration of self. Imagine entering a vast, tranquil space within, where every sound is meaningful, and the faintest echoes carry messages long waiting to be deciphered. Here lies the tapestry of experiences that silently weave through the core of our being. This journey invites introspection, a gentle unveiling of hidden recesses in the heart and mind to decipher the whispers of past pains. In understanding these whispers, we are guided toward healing and growth. Pain, if we choose to listen, does not disappear like fleeting notes in the wind. Rather, it lingers as echoes, resonating in the heart's deepest corners. Each echo signifies moments and wounds unmet, tracing back to the story carefully guarded within. They form maps leading us to understanding. When we attune ourselves to these subtle reverberations, the familiar aches surface, shaping perceptions, influencing emotions, and crafting our identities. The emotional winces and silent unease remind us of patterns woven deeply within, urging us to unearth the narrative simmering beneath. Acknowledge these echoes as carriers of wisdom and as fragments demanding a voice, a dialogue that beckons us to understand, offering a doorway to healing and growth. As we listen with patience, each story threaded within pain's pattern slowly unfolds. Permit these vibrations to reveal aspects of yourself that might have been inadvertently silenced or left unexplored. By entering this dialogue and embracing unease, we transform. Time and gentle reflection teach us that these patterns are invaluable mentors. Ignored echoes are nothing less than parts of our souls seeking to be heard, seen and healed. Our existence is filled with whispers, subtle mind clamours often drowned by everyday noise. These whispers, appearing as rudimentary chatter, reflect our unhealed wounds. They gaze back through emotions, thoughts and behaviours. Subtlety not to be ignored but embraced as they speak to the psyche's depths. By allowing these persistent voices their stage, we uncover the profound anguish's pattern as it weaves through our past. The invisible threads holding these whispers blend with the fabric of early experiences, shaping our worldviews and emotional responses. They signal where stories remain unresolved or where emotional wounds lie untouched. By acknowledging and listening to these fractured narratives, a transformative exchange begins, fostering psychological resilience and emotional awareness, leading us to confront and redefine our inner dialogues. In the realm of introspective discovery, pain often serenades us in hushed tones, asking to be named and acknowledged. Each note carries the weight of memories and long-hidden emotions. Listening reveals that these songs of suffering harbour clues to patterns governing our emotional and psychological landscapes. Unsung stories echo in the mind's chambers, inviting us to interpret their melodies for healing. This serenade doesn't torment but guides. It invites exploration of hidden strains, uncovering wisdom therein. Here is the opportunity for conscious awareness of the past, unearthing its treasures in the present. By listening, These songs become harmonious stories of resilience and inner strength, a step toward bridging narrative gaps. The serenade transforms isolated echoes into symphonies of integrated wisdom, leading to empowerment in self-awareness and healing. Within our inner shadows pulse narratives, influencing existence's threads often unnoticed amidst life's chaos. These patterns embody past experiences, repeating to capture our attention. Like rhythmic heartbeats, they remind us of unhealed wounds, waiting in subconscious recesses to be unveiled. Acknowledging them illuminates the shadow's role in identity shaping and fostering transformation. The shadow hides disowned or repressed self-parts, concealing unresolved emotions. Seen with curiosity and love, patterns disclose profound self-wisdom, providing doors to integration. Emotional resilience and individuation lie in befriending shadows, discovering patterns pulsing beneath, embracing their messages. They guide deeper healing circles, transcending loneliness confines by connecting with long-ignored fragments, paving the way for completion and self-discovery. In our mind's labyrinth lie ruins we inhabit, painful vestiges unveiling unspoken stories. Each ruin holds echoes of what was, standing as monuments to unmet lessons and uncharted understanding. Within are relics of unresolved emotions and memories, waiting to be unearthed and explored anew. These ruins reflect our hidden selves, revealing truth embedded in time, a chance to explore history with curiosity and compassion. By traversing these ruins, the awakening of deepest insights awaits. It requires vulnerability and openness to concealed stories. With gentle intention, transform these ruins from silent suffering into profound enlightenment spaces. Unveiling these vestiges, healing seeps through fractures, integrating past wounds into authentic, resilient self-mosaics, poised to embrace the world anew. Picture a slow-flowing river, a reflection river, where each emotion is a droplet shaping its path. Along this river, emotions journey, guiding us toward greater self-awareness and understanding. Like a river's current, emotions course within, whispering tales of past and present. Navigating this reflection river, emotions chart awareness paths, exploring subconscious patterns. By channeling emotional currents, messages are recognized, signals of hidden needs, unresolved wounds, neglected desires. Through introspective inquiry and observation, journey along this river, anchoring awareness and developing intelligence. This river reflects, guiding deeper swims in inner life's waters. It becomes a sacred integration space to discern deep patterns, fostering authentic growth, healing, and transformation. Within the tapestry of our existence, our bodies stand as silent storytellers, delicately revealing the narratives of our lives through whispers of sensation. This is a tale not spun from words but from the physical essence itself. Tension, discomfort, and subtle aches that echo the chapters we've written, yet not read. Imagine for a moment the invisible weight pressing upon one's shoulders, hinting at unspoken burdens. Or perhaps there's a haunting knot nestled in the gut, a testament to the anxiety that festers quietly within. Each of these somatic markers becomes a delicate bookmark, gently flagging the significant chapters of suffering that lie unprocessed and unhealed. These manifestations are not chaotic, they're deliberate beacons, insistent whispers from a deeper consciousness, urging us to uncover the emotional wounds that linger in the shadows. They beckon us to listen, to open a heartfelt dialogue with our bodies, and find within those conversations the insights buried beneath. As we embark on this journey of understanding, we uncover paths leading back to the sources of our emotional turbulence, tracing the roots from which healing can begin to blossom. Every sensation speaks its unique dialect, crafting a narrative of past experiences. Consider the tension that creeps behind weary eyes. It quietly tells of tears unshed, emotions withheld out of fear, of vulnerability or judgment. The clenching of the jaw reveals tales of suppressed anger and resentment, waiting patiently for the moment of acknowledgement. As we attune to this language, discomfort transforms into a bridge, a passageway to healing and comprehension. These somatic bookmarks gently guide us to the roots of our emotional conflicts, illuminating the spaces needing tender attention. When ignored, the body raises its voice, demanding awareness through more profound expressions. Chronic pain, inexplicable anxiety, waves of illness. In nurturing the ability to listen, we honour our physical form as the sacred repository of emotional truth, bridging a profound connection between mental and physical, allowing a cohesive journey of self-discovery to gently unfold. Envision each ache, each pinch, as a direct line to an emotional wound written within your flesh. These are more than mere sensations. They're archives of life experiences, scars and resilient stories carved delicately into our being. The tension in your shoulders, it's a whisper of the burdens you bear. The weight of responsibilities unmet, the pressures quiet. Dismissing these as trivial discomforts misses the opportunity to delve into the deeper scripts that drive our daily lives. Encountering these emotional wounds etched in our physical selves invites us on a healing journey. This path, approached with curiosity and courage, demands reflection on how past traumas continue to shape our present. Peering into the depths of these experiences, we find a chance to transform historical suffering into profound growth, enriching our understanding of the narratives shaping our existence. Our psychological and physical selves intertwine in an astonishing dance, each movement echoing with significance. Thoughts and emotions exist not in isolation, but as tightly bound elements, manifesting tangibly through our biological state. This intricate interplay underscores the importance of observing our bodily reactions to gain insight into our inner landscape. Our bodies often begin with quiet murmurs, suggestions of unresolved conflicts waiting in clenched fists or shallow gasping breaths. Embracing this mind-body connection uncovers a healing journey, rich with understanding and balance. Here, not just symptoms, but core issues find solace, and awareness bridges the gap, empowering our pursuit of healing. Within this sacred synergy, the stories our bodies tell illuminate paths to deeper mental clarity and emotional resilience, encouraging us to honour these messages as allies rather than adversaries. With mindful awareness, we unlock the body's diary, gently unfolding its stories written by the hand of the unconscious mind. Through meditations and conscious breathing, space is created for these somatic bookmarks to reveal their narratives. Acknowledging each detail without judgment nourishes the environment where inner dialogue can flourish, providing invaluable insight into our emotional states. As we deepen this practice, holding space for complexities within becomes a sacred ritual. In these moments, we meet our bodies with compassion, and each sensation becomes an invitation to explore deeper emotional landscapes ripe for healing. This awareness builds a partnership with our bodies, guiding us gracefully through the intricate stories that encourage profound growth. To integrate somatic awareness, we embrace practices encouraging a harmonious union of mind and body. Techniques like body scans guide our attention across the physical form, learning to interpret the tales hidden within. As we engage in expressive movement, dance, yoga, mindful stretching, our bodies move in response to emotions, releasing energy bound once in tension, celebrating our emotional journeys. Through this exploration, our somatic experiences enrich our understanding profoundly, enabling us to craft new narratives free from the constraints of old wounds. Here, empowerment arises, offering us the freedom to interpret our bodily messages as stepping stones toward resilience and awareness. Together, mind and body intertwine in a dialogue that fosters healing, awaiting those willing to listen. In the quiet corridors of our lives, patterns whisper stories of our past, echoing through familiar events and emotions. These are the loops we live in, the recurring themes that, like ancient melodies, replay with minor variations through our days. Beneath each loop, a deeper narrative unfurls, a profound story attempting to breathe beneath the layers of repetition. Life sometimes feels scripted, where relationships falter, in predictable heartbreaks or anxieties creep into our professional pursuits. With relentless precision, these loops draw our attention to unresolved tales, begging for mindful awareness. Stepping into the gentle exploration of these loops, one discovers a tapestry woven with unmet needs, unspoken fears, and hidden sorrows. Perhaps in relations reduced to shadows of validation and belonging, lies a cry from early wounds seeking recognition. The loops form around us like rings of a tree, witnessing our growth yet echoing past pains through time. Their presence is not for punishment but invitation, encouraging us to journey inward, unravelling layers of past conditioning with tender curiosity. Each loop in its own rhythm beckons us to uncover unmet needs that have woven themselves into the fabric of our being. In quiet moments of reflection, we notice how these needs, once ignored, shape the contours of our identity. The indifference of a partner might awaken a forgotten longing for attention, deeply rooted in childhood chapters of neglect. Conscious acknowledgement of these patterns is the first step towards finding liberation, offering kindness to the self and tenderness to the untold stories within. Hidden in the shadows, unspoken fears become clandestine architects of our narratives, quietly influencing our actions and reactions. These fears craft scenarios steeped in anxiety and resistance, trapping us in repetitive cycles of hesitance and mistrust. Often unconsciously upheld, these fears reflect past wounds of betrayal and rejection. The quiet courage to voice them allows understanding where previously there was only echoing silence. As we navigate these waters of past suffering, fear transforms from a harbinger of doubt into a gentle guide, leading us toward untold potential. Threads of unresolved grief weave through our loops, binding past sorrows with present realities. These stories of loss, tucked away and unacknowledged, play out in habitual sadness or endless longing. New beginnings hesitate under the weight of old endings, repeating the refrain of what was once lost. Here, acknowledging our grief becomes a sacred act, providing space for mourning and making peace with the past, a process to integrate what came before and move forward with gentle acceptance. Amidst these cycles, feelings of immobility often settle like mist, suggesting an illusion of stagnation, a perception of being perpetually trapped within familiar boundaries. Yet beneath this cloak of stuckness lies entrenched patterns, whispering tales of self-imposed limits. Reclaiming agency means rewriting these stories, stepping beyond narratives that paint change as unattainable. In the quiet weight of self-reflection, we distinguish between cycles born from choice and those from habit, crafting newfound paths with wisdom from hardships past. Patterns protectively wrap around us, serving as barriers formed from early vulnerabilities. While they once safeguarded our being, these looping scripts now confine us, restraining the heart's true song. Here lies a gentle reminder to honour the lessons our patterns taught us, all the while reshaping them to nurture our evolving spirit. Viewed through compassionate eyes, these protective walls become stepping stones towards growth, allowing us to design new paths that honour our present truths. Amidst the loops, the inner voice often turns towards criticism, nourishing narratives of inadequacy that weave tightly into every decision. Born from earlier judgments, these dialogues infiltrate our perceptions, bolstering the cycle of self-doubt and limiting our potential for expansion. Shifting these narratives entails imbuing self-dialogue with kindness, transforming self-criticism into affirmations of worth. As we replace harshness with compassion, we loosen the binding grip of these loops, cultivating a richer soil for personal growth. In relationships, betrayals from the past forge loops of skepticism and defensiveness, mirroring old wounds in new connections. As reflections of what seeks healing, these loops provide insights into vulnerabilities and unhealed scars. By rewriting personal narratives around relationships, we step towards openness and trust, allowing lessons from past grievances to inform healthier boundaries. Through this quest, we engage authentically with others, weaving a future defined by mutual respect and empathetic understanding. In professional realms, loops manifest as persistent anxiety, either through relentless pursuit or chronic dissatisfaction, a narrative carved from unrest and the search for significance. These cycles are driven by the need for external validation, underscoring self-worth through achievements alone. The journey towards fulfilling engagement begins with redefining success as intrinsically motivated, rather than defined by external accomplishments. Aligning career aspirations with genuine values and passions fosters a path where ambition and soul meet in harmonious expression. Ultimately, embracing change becomes the liberator of our loops, the gentle dismantler of comfort zones that confine us. Though challenging, change invites a conscious rewriting of our stories, infusing life with the promise of unexplored possibilities. As we cultivate openness to change, embracing it as a partner in our narrative, we transform constraint into creation. This unfolding journey births a future veiled in promise and renewal, guided by the rhythms of authenticity and hope. In the quiet of our inner world, triggers often arrive like whispers on the wind, stirring emotional echoes that may feel overwhelming or inexplicably intense. Rather than viewing these occurrences as unwelcome disruptions, imagine them as gentle invitations from the depths of our subconscious. Each trigger serves as an opportunity to delve into the layers of our personal history, allowing stories that yearn for understanding to emerge. They are not mere indications of fragility, but rather signposts that lead us to well springs of unresolved emotional energy and unmet desires. By embracing triggers as guides instead of hurdles, we transform them into catalysts for profound self-discovery. Practice inviting these triggers in with a spirit of gentle curiosity, welcoming them as mysterious narratives waiting to unfold. Diving deeper, triggers act as keys that unlock the doors to our hidden selves, They urge us to look beneath the surface, to journey inward, where past events intertwine with present experiences. Each trigger is akin to a mirror reflecting the shadows of unhealed wounds. To truly glean insight, one must engage with, rather than shy away from, these reflections, tracing the emotions they elicit back to their roots. With a careful peeling back of layers, we begin to unravel the threads that link our past with the present, allowing untold stories to rise and aiding in our emotional liberation. Understanding the science behind triggers can dispel myths of irrationality and offer a grounded perspective on why we react as we do. From a psychological standpoint, triggers can be understood as conditioned responses, connecting certain stimuli with emotional reactions rooted in past experiences. Behavioural psychology explains how familiar sights, sounds or words can evoke memories from similar past encounters, embedding these associations within our neural pathways over time. This scientific knowledge allows us to approach ourselves with compassion, recognizing our reactions as the understandable result of intricate mental conditioning. Triggers are closely tied to the brain's limbic system, which governs our emotional responses and memory processing. During triggering events, the amygdala often activates, stirring emotions such as fear or anger, and can overshadow the rational processes of the prefrontal cortex. By nurturing an awareness of this neural process, we prepare to navigate our triggers with a calm, focused clarity, transforming our reactions. This understanding empowers us to meet triggers with emotional resilience and transformation. Triggers emerge from diverse sources, many linked to past trauma or significant emotional experiences. They range from words reminiscent of derogatory remarks to environments that echo past stress or trauma. The senses, smell and sound, can transport us to memories tied to key events, reflecting the deep connection between perception and emotional memory. By grasping this diversity, we can transform triggers from intimidating mysteries into familiar signals that invite healing. Interpersonal interactions often provide a fertile source of triggers. Conflicts with loved ones or colleagues may resurrect feelings of inadequacy or insecurity rooted in childhood or past relationships. These triggers touch upon places where one's self-worth or belonging feels challenged. Recognizing these patterns allows us to understand how the past influences our present, prompting a shift from reflexive reactions to conscious understanding. Awareness is the first step in transforming triggers from discordant forces into insightful prompts. Cultivating this awareness involves practicing mindfulness, observing thoughts and feelings without judgment or haste. This creates a space between stimulus and response, where we can reflect objectively and develop greater self-awareness. Mindfulness, paired with meditation and journaling, can deepen this awareness. Meditation fosters a centered state of being, reducing impulsive reactions, while journaling offers a sanctuary for exploring the origin of triggers and unearthing new insights. In confronting triggers, we unearth layers of emotion buried in our psyche. Despite their intimidating nature, these emotions offer a priceless opportunity for healing. Triggers become portals to a fuller understanding of ourselves, inviting a deeper exploration of our inner world, revealing truths and nurturing acceptance. This journey nurtures emotional intelligence, allowing us to engage with life more richly. Each trigger reveals a story waiting to be shared, enabling us to become the storytellers of our lives. By weaving narratives from our triggers, we gain perspective on the overarching themes in our experiences. This storytelling becomes an act of reclaiming our agency, transforming chaotic memories into coherent stories and breaking the silence surrounding past pain. Transformative practices such as cognitive restructuring can help reframe negative thoughts linked to triggering events, developing a more compassionate dialogue with ourselves. Creative expressions through art or writing allow these emotions to transform suffering into creation. These practices, along with therapeutic approaches like EMDR and somatic therapies, offer profound integration and healing beyond cognitive understanding. As triggers become story prompts, the journey transforms us, fostering self-acceptance and healing. Recognizing our scars as symbols of resilience rather than flaws invites greater self-awareness, allowing old narratives to transform into threads of understanding and compassion. By embracing this journey, triggers befriend us, offering ongoing growth, harmonizing past and present, and nurturing a future of self-discovery and emotional freedom. In the gentle tapestry of our inner world, emotions weave a landscape that is both familiar and mysterious. They ripple across our psyche, not as isolated events, but as part of a complex topography that tells a story of our lived experiences. Imagine this landscape shaped by peaks of anger, valleys of longing, shadows of shame, and the turbulent waters of anxiety. Each emotion marks its territory, a vibrant brushstroke on the canvas of the self, whispering of paths often travelled, but seldom understood. In this quiet exploration, allow curiosity to guide you, free from judgment. These emotions aren't mere disruptions. They are signposts guiding us towards the deeper narratives tucked away in the quiet corners of our soul. With each step through this terrain, we peel back layers, revealing the raw authenticity that rests beneath the cultivated responses we present to the world. As we journey through this emotional geography, we find constellations of anger and resentment marking the night skies of our inner universe. They trace the lines of perceived injustices, intertwine with memories of betrayal, and point to wounds unhealed. Anger often stands guard, a fierce protector cloaking vulnerabilities beneath its fiery wings. Yet it beckons us to dig deeper, to uncover the tender places where fear or pain once took root. Resentment, an ember left unchecked, smoulders into a shadow that dims the light of gratitude and taints the clarity of judgment. Visualize these emotional stars within you, each a point of encounter where boundaries were tested or unmet needs left us yearning. Meanwhile, the dense shadows of shame lurk in the untouched regions where self-worth grapples with societal expectations. This formidable emotion whispers of disconnection and inadequacy, writing narratives of deficiency that echo through our every action. To unearth this pain is to engage in a quiet dialogue with oneself, tracing its origins back to those early moments where it first took hold. Shame wears many masks, often hiding behind the rigid facades of perfectionism or the evasive dance of avoidance. By mapping its fault lines, we illuminate its presence, transforming the tangled web of beliefs. It weaves into a clearer understanding, and in this illumination lies our freedom. Amidst these emotional terrains, envy emerges as both adversary and ally. Often misunderstood, it serves as a compass directing us towards our innermost desires. When does admiration shift into comparison? And where does that leave us in terms of our aspirations and perceived shortcomings? By examining these instances, we uncover the areas where we feel lacking, redirecting this comparison into inspiration and motivation. Envy highlights spaces within that long for growth and reminds us of the dreams we have yet to realise. And then there are paths etched with longing, lines of dreams unfulfilled. They meander through our soul, echoes of possibilities unexplored and choices left behind. In embracing these emotions of longing and loss, we allow ourselves to sit with the yearning of alternate realities. This isn't dwelling on the past, but rather acknowledging the weight of those untravelled roads. Recognizing the grief of lost potential offers healing, granting us the grace to mourn, while simultaneously fostering hope for what lies ahead, intertwining past with present growth. Amidst these tranquil valleys and stormy seas, anxiety weaves its unpredictable patterns. It is like the weather in our emotional sky, altering terrain swiftly and often without warning. Anxiety holds a message, urging us to confront the uncertainties we often fear or strive to control. By charting its ebbs and flows, understanding its triggers, it becomes less a destructive force and more a sage, guiding us to address the deeper truths of our fears and, in doing so, find calm within its tempest. At the heart of this delicate exploration lies self-compassion, the gentle foundation upon which emotional mapping stands. Approach this journey with kindness, understanding that each emotional marker you encounter is sacred. With each compassionate step, you empower yourself to navigate these emotional landscapes, transforming vulnerability into strength. Through this voyage of discovery, aim to integrate these once fragmented emotions into a cohesive whole. Harmony isn't the erasure of feelings, but their acceptance as essential strands in the fabric of our identity. As we connect the dots, we inch closer to a unified narrative that speaks of our journey toward wholeness. This introspection delights in revealing truths about identity and purpose, shifting our existence from reactive to intentional. As we conclude this gentle exploration, let mindful presence anchor our practice. In these quiet, reflective moments, acknowledge the rise and fall of emotions, letting them pass with serene acceptance. Through meditation and contemplation, find the strength to observe without immediate response, engaging in a deeper conversation with your inner self. This practice enriches our emotional understanding and supports us in navigating the undulating landscape of our feelings with grace and resilience. Let this reflection be a sacred commitment to the self, a daily ritual inviting us to explore and celebrate the vivid tapestry of emotions that paint our life's path, guiding us toward living not just with breadth, but depth. Beneath the surface of recurring pain lies a tapestry woven with threads of belief, each strand spun from the early whispers of childhood. These beliefs, shaped silently over years, form the unseen framework dictating how we navigate the complexities of the world. Imagine them as hidden currents in the sea, subtly steering our emotional vessels. They unfold in shadows of unworthiness, echoes of isolation, whispers of self-doubt, profoundly impacting how we perceive ourselves and others. Imagine embarking on a journey inward, tracing these threads back to their origins. For in understanding their origins, we can see how they shape our experiences and interactions. It requires a deep commitment to self-exploration, a willingness to stand before the mirror of introspection, gazing steadily at our rawest insecurities. Practices like meditation or journaling can serve as gentle guides, helping us untangle these threads and understand their roles without assigning blame. We view them as protective mechanisms crafted in response to our early environments. At the dawn of our lives, core beliefs begin to crystallize, formed when we were tender and impressionable, absorbing both the spoken and unspoken messages from those around us. These experiences form subconscious scripts, replaying within our minds, upon which the foundation of our adult psyche is built. A single phrase, a repeated critique, or a pervasive indifference can etch deep roots, creating enduring beliefs such as, "I must be perfect to be loved," or "I'm only safe when unseen." To discern these scripts, one must journey delicately yet bravely into the corridors of memory, identifying significant events and the shadows they cast. Perhaps unrelenting criticism bred seeds of perfectionism, while neglect blossomed into fierce independence. By examining these roots, we uncover a narrative that clarifies patterns, obscured by time, illuminating our behaviour and emotional responses. It provides a canvas upon which we can redefine these beliefs in light of our present selves, shedding the skin of who we were for who we are becoming. Within this tapestry, beliefs dictate the language of our pain, the narratives whispered by our suffering when left unattended. To decode this language, we must listen to the stories our distress tells us when faced with adversity or failure. Does rejection unleash a chorus of inadequacy? Does unreciprocated achievement flare into anger? Such moments are clues pointing towards underlying beliefs. This process of identification involves careful observation and mindful reflection, approaching one's emotional responses with curiosity rather than condemnation. By tuning into these thought patterns, we notice their relationship with certain beliefs. As these narratives become clearer, we rewrite the language of our pain, altering their control over our lives. Our belief systems are not isolated. They are shaped by the cultures and families that nurture us. Culture offers a tapestry of norms and expectations, while familial dynamics weave their own intricate web of love and loyalty, significantly shaping our formative selves. These external influences can either nurture growth or stifle it, depending on their alignment with our true nature. Recognizing their importance allows us to distinguish between intrinsic and adopted beliefs, freeing us from constraints that no longer serve. Transforming these limiting beliefs involves more than identification. It demands active challenge and reframing. These beliefs are not immutable truths, but rather constructions formed by past interpretations. By questioning their validity, we break free from constraints, enabling beliefs that resonate with our evolving selves. This transformation is one of patience and persistence, reframing old beliefs with affirmations of worthiness and capability. As these shifts take hold, their impact on our behaviour and emotions is profound. Moving from deficiency to adequacy, we approach life with newfound confidence. We take risks, embrace failures, and establish healthier boundaries. These changes extend beyond personal growth, rippling outward, reshaping our interactions and dynamics with others. Sustaining this transformation requires ongoing reflection and reinforcement. Regular self-awareness ensures that any regressive beliefs are caught and reassessed. Engaging with supportive communities nurtures this change, offering encouragement and accountability. Through shared storytelling, we validate our experiences, fostering a space for collective healing and insight. Integrating new beliefs into daily life signifies a shift from understanding to living, where cognitive shift mirror actions. Intentionality transforms belief into practical change, whether in setting boundaries, expressing emotions, or pursuing passions. Presence and patience are key, inviting mindfulness into each decision. Embracing vulnerability is crucial in this transformative process. It invites us to confront fears and insecurities, cultivating compassionate awareness. In this acceptance of rawness lies potential for profound evolution. By acknowledging vulnerability, we dismantle the hold of the inner critic, fostering self-acceptance and healing. With belief transformation, we redefine our identity. The narrative we tell aligns with our truth, marking a departure from default living to conscious creation. This redefinition acknowledges our power to craft reality, embracing roles that embody our fullest capabilities. Identity becomes a lifelong unfolding story, free from past constraints, open to continuous growth and discovery, inviting us to become the storytellers of our own lives, illuminating paths paved with insight and resilience. In the quiet moments of twilight, where the world hushes and the soul breathes, we find the beginning of a sacred dialogue with our wounded self. We are conditioned to bustle through life, deaf to the whispers that come from within. To engage with this inner voice, we must first cultivate silence, not only around us but deeply within, in the quiet chamber of our heart. This silence, though unsettling, beckons the long hidden shadows to step into the light, inviting us to listen to the stories left unheard. As we stand before this untouched part of ourselves, non-judgment is our greatest ally. Our wounds often carry tales tinged with shame or regret, yet these are not marks of failure. They are echoes of experiences not fully understood. In these moments, we don the cloak of both the curious inquirer and the compassionate witness. We move beyond labels, lifting the veil that obscures these parts of our soul, allowing them to be seen as integral fibres in the tapestry of our being. Questions, softly spoken, draw our wounded self into conversation. We resist the urge to interrogate with why and instead ask, what do you need to express right now? By shifting our focus from blame to understanding, we create space for stories that begin to unravel at their own pace. Gently we ask, what happened then? And what message do you bear for me today? These are not demands for immediate revelation, but invitations to linger in inquiry and unfold understanding. In our sacred dialogue, the body becomes a profound storyteller, speaking in sensations rather than words. Pay heed to its signs, a clenched jaw, a fluttering heart, each a piece of the emotional landscape seeking acknowledgement. Our body's wisdom often surpasses spoken language, revealing truths we struggle to articulate. Practices like gentle yoga and mindful breathing invite us to connect with these bodily expressions, lending voice to the inner stories that seek emergence. For the dialogue to thrive, a safe haven is essential. A sanctuary where the wounded self can express its truths unguardedly. This sanctuary is not just a physical location, but an emotional refuge where fear is absent and acceptance is abundant. We choose spaces that cradle us in comfort and ground us, perhaps a favoured nook beneath an ancient tree or the serene quiet of our own room. Internally, we foster patience and self-compassion, allowing words to emerge fragmented and unrushed, without the weight of expectation. At the heart of this practice lies the role of the compassionate witness. As witness, we stand both apart and within, fully present and open-hearted. This is not passive observation, but an active listening that transcends implication and engages deeply with the emotions at hand. We validate experiences, acknowledge pain, and transform the internal adversary into a companion for growth, nurturing connection as we do so. Harnessing the power of inner storytelling, we are artists crafting narratives from the firmament of our pain. The wounded self clings to past narratives of victimhood and fear. Yet through conscious storytelling, we reshape these into tales of resilience and understanding. By identifying the recurrent scripts, our inner dialogue scripts, we tenderly rewrite them, infusing each page with hope and empowerment. This isn't about erasure, but reimagining, seeing suffering as a chapter, not an entire book. Rituals broaden the space for this sacred conversation, honouring the wounded self with actions that resonate. Whether through journaling emotions too nuanced for casual dialogue, or through art that captures abstract reveries. These practices become meditative, interweaving moments of reflection and creativity with healing and acknowledgement. The act of walking amidst nature, watching a sunset, or simply flowing with the current of life becomes a ritual of renewal, mirroring our inner transformation. Yet the dialogue does not end. It is an infinite, evolving relationship. We recognise the ongoing dance of effort and ease, welcoming the wounded self without force or constraint. With each soul-bearing question and heartfelt response, the conversation deepens, enfolding us in a continuous exploration. Even when our journeys wander other paths, this dialogue remains a touchstone, a recurring melody within our lives. Thus we nurture this dialogue with compassion and eternal curiosity. It becomes a sanctuary of truth, where bygone tales are retold with newfound eyes, where ancient wounds find healing. As we sustain this sacred exchange, it evolves our narrative, weaving its threads into the broader tapestry of a life enriched by introspection, ensuring our relationship with the wounded self is one of endless growth, deep healing, and unyielding self-discovery. In the realm of transformative healing, the essence of witness consciousness unfolds like a gentle breeze, lifting us from the entangled web of our suffering. It invites us to a place where we observe without judgment, discerning the dance between the chaos of experience and the serene silence of an inner observer. Imagine standing on the shores of your own tumultuous ocean, watching as each crashing wave is met not with resistance, but with a calm, knowing gaze. This practice, akin to the mindful stillness often found in Buddhist teachings, asks us to remain present, to notice the patterns that emerge without clinging to them or recoiling in fear. Over time, this simple act of witnessing shifts our suffering from a storm to a part of our vast sea of experience, allowing us to navigate with curiosity and understanding instead of dread. As we cultivate this witness consciousness, a profound internal shift occurs, akin to watching passing clouds in the expansive sky. Each cloud carries a story, an emotion, a fleeting memory of our past. But as the observer, we learn that the sky, our endless consciousness, is untouched by their ephemeral passage. Witness consciousness gifts us the power to transform suffering into a wellspring of insight. It reframes our sense of self, from being intricately tied to our pain to perceiving it as a transient visitor in the journey of life, opening fertile ground for healing and renewal. In the embrace of compassionate witnessing, a tender alchemy unravels. It is a gentle holding space where the urgency to fix or flee dissolves, allowing the complexities of our suffering to breathe and unfold safely. This act requires a heart-centered presence that welcomes discomfort, offering ourselves or others the balm of empathy. Within this sacred space, suffering is seen as a valid thread in the rich tapestry of human experience, nurtured into a context where healing can organically bloom. Through such compassionate witnessing, we dissolve the isolation that often shrouds pain. When our stories are truly seen and heard, neither trivialized nor dismissed, we begin to reclaim our narrative from the shadows of silence and shame, restoring dignity and empowering us to rewrite our tales with newfound clarity and understanding. Even when practiced internally, this act of compassionate witnessing allows us to extend the same empathy to ourselves, nurturing self-compassion and resilience. As Rumi so beautifully observed, it is through the wound that the light enters. The act of witnessing transforms suffering into a doorway opening toward greater self-awareness and connection to humanity's boundless journey. Turning our gaze through the lens of Jungian psychology, the power of witnessing is woven into the fabric of individuation, the timeless quest for wholeness and self-discovery. Witnessing becomes a dialogue with the hidden realms of our unconscious, a patient endeavour to coax shadow aspects into the warm embrace of consciousness. As Carl Jung taught, transformation ignites with acknowledgement. By witnessing these shadow elements, we offer them room to integrate into the harmony of a unified self, morphing inner conflict into coherence. This is not a solitary endeavour, but an intricate dance with the archetypes and symbols that carve our unconscious narratives. By honouring these symbols, we peel back layers, exposing the profound motivations and meanings that steer our emotions and behaviours. Beyond the confines of the self, the presence of external witnesses, be they therapists, friends, or kindred souls, serves as a validating mirror, offering a sacred container where stories of anguish can be unveiled, heard, and acknowledged free of the weight of judgment. This external witnessing becomes a vital antidote to the isolation and loneliness that often accompany suffering, transforming an individual narrative of solitary endurance into a shared experience of humanity. The pages of a journal become a secret garden for self-witnessing, a sanctuary where thoughts and emotions spill gently into form. Through journaling, we engage in a dialogue with ourselves, externalizing our inner worlds onto paper with a tender curiosity. This process eases the grip of immersion in suffering, fostering a panoramic view that allows insight to bloom organically from the quiet moments of reflection. Amidst the silent embrace of meditation and mindfulness, we nurture the silent observer within, guiding us toward healing. This practice of simply being fosters a deep connection to the present moment, allowing us to witness our inner realms without being ensnared by their narratives. By observing details as they arise, a gentler relationship with suffering unfolds, nurturing resilience and psychological flexibility, birthing a capacity to walk through life's challenges with grace and equanimity. Artistic expression opens a portal where creativity illuminates suffering's darkest corners, transforming it into a source of inspiration. Whether through painting, music, dance, or writing, creative expression offers form to what words cannot capture, encouraging a dialogue that transcends the conscious mind, welcoming shadows with grace. In silence, a profound transformation occurs, where the clamour of the external fades, and the quiet truths within rise to be touched with tenderness. Embracing silence offers refuge and contemplation, drawing us closer to the whispers of our soul. Thus, as a community of witnesses forms, the redemptive power of witnessing magnifies collectively. Within such gatherings, the act of sharing stories becomes a celebration of shared humanity, dissolving the isolation of pain, reminding us we are not alone. In this compassionate dance of reflection and support, narratives bloom into vibrant tales of healing, resilience, and reawakening. As we journey through the shadows of our past, we begin to recognize that within each challenge lies a hidden opportunity for growth. Painful patterns are not mere torments. They emerge as guides, teaching us to listen closely. By perceiving suffering as a wise teacher rather than a dreaded foe, we initiate the delicate craft of weaving a new narrative. It is in acknowledging the cyclical nature of our pain that we gain the insight required to transform. Just as a revered mentor illuminates complex truths, the patterns of our lives spotlight where healing and understanding are most needed, urging us to delve deeper with patience and compassion. In this unfolding tale, we embrace the notion that every return to familiar pain is not a failure, but an invitation to explore the profound causes of our discontent. By shifting our perspective from victimhood, we move from passive observers to active participants, drawing wisdom from our trials, mapping a course toward resilience and inner peace. This pivotal transformation sets the stage for the artful reframing of our narratives, where suffering metamorphoses into a benevolent guide, leading us to newfound clarity. The stories we tell about our past wield tremendous power over our present experiences. To craft a fresh narrative, we must engage in reframing, a reflective practice that honours both pain and potential growth. This process isn't about denying our struggles, but redefining them as moments of profound impact, catalysing inner transformation. In reframing, past wounds become stepping stones to deeper self-awareness, unlocking dormant strengths previously veiled by hurt. As we transform our emotional responses, we invigorate our narratives, allowing past hardships to serve as enriched sources of insight, rather than prisons of resentment. Through the gentle act of reframing, we breathe new life into our histories, transforming them from burdens into lifelines of growth. We regain authorship over our stories, empowering ourselves to continuously evolve. Our past becomes a wellspring of renewal, guiding us with clarity and intent, as we shift from mere survival to a flourishing expedition of self-discovery. The body too holds an intricate story, embedded within its fibres through echoes of past traumas. Embracing somatic affirmation taps into this innate wisdom, using gentle practices like deep breathing and mindful movement to release tension, fostering both physical and emotional freedom. By creating a dialogue between mind and body, we affirm the vital connection between emotional healing and physical well-being, illustrating how these intertwined efforts nurture resilience and recovery. Within this sacred dialogue, the body emerges not as an adversary, but a crucial participant in our journey. By listening, we learn to interpret its signals, nurturing a relationship founded on trust and compassion. This practice becomes an intimate testament to the mind-body bond, encouraging listeners to embrace their physical selves with respect and understanding, paving the way for enduring transformation. In narrative reconstruction, we find the deliberate act of rewriting our life stories with creativity and depth. By examining the scripts we unconsciously follow, we reclaim the power to reshape them, weaving threads of hope and possibility into new tales. This journey is one of honest introspection, where we explore trials faced, lessons learned, and insights gained, crafting a cohesive narrative that celebrates growth and transformation. As we turn toward the shadows we carry, Carl Jung's profound insight into shadow work guides us to embrace our buried aspects. These shadows, long repressed, manifest as recurring patterns that signal pain and suffering. By shedding light on these facets, we embrace a fuller spectrum of our being, acknowledging that within our darkness lies untapped potential. This exploration isn't about judgment, but about compassion, welcoming the complexity of our true selves. With curiosity and openness, we embrace our hidden aspects, threading them into the fabric of our narrative. This integration of shadow and light enriches our tapestry, steering us toward authenticity. Emotional alchemy reveals the profound transformation of emotional states, inviting us to engage with anger, fear, and sadness as catalysts for change. Like the alchemist seeking gold, we learn patience and dedication in turning challenging emotions into understanding and joy. Through this gentle metamorphosis, we weave emotions into our story, crafting a narrative that thrives in the face of adversity. Self-authorship breathes life into our stories, where intentionality becomes the architect of our narrative. By scrutinizing societal scripts and external expectations, we differentiate genuine desires from imposed values. This reclaiming of narrative paves the way for an exploration of our evolving selves, weaving aspirations and experiences into a story that resonates with our essence. As we engage in this delicate dance, imperfections become cherished facets of our narrative. Recognizing that our stories need not aim for perfection, we embrace our humanity, invigorating the narrative tapestry with both triumph and failure. Vulnerability and resilience emerge as revered guideposts, empowering us to embrace life's unpredictability with grace. In crafting our future vision, dreams unfurl with intent, setting goals that reflect aspirations aligned with our authentic selves. Embracing the surprises and opportunities that arise, we weave a dynamic narrative, threading hope and possibility through the fabric of our lives. As the interplay of past, present, and future unfolds, we present a rich, flowing narrative, honouring where we've been, where we are, and where we're destined to venture, a testament to healing, growth, and transformation. In the delicate tapestry of life, patterns dance subtly beneath the surface, unwinding like ancient melodies. These persistent loops, etched into the fabric of our existence, often elude us, silently weaving their narratives from shadows of past experiences and whispering tales of unresolved emotions. Imagine them as grooves on a well-played record, each cycle resonating with echoes of yesterday. But within these familiar rhythms lies an invitation, a gentle nudge toward introspection and transformation. Understanding these patterns requires courage, for they are born in the delicate cradle of our subconscious, formed by unspoken fears, unhealed wounds, and tales we've long forgotten. Stepping onto this path demands patience and an open heart, ready to embrace discomfort without recoiling into the shallows of denial or blame. As we embark on a journey inward, armed with the quiet tools of journaling, meditation, and introspective therapy, we begin the art of reclaiming our narrative. In the gentle unravelling of these patterns, their once familiar grip weakens and a newfound agency emerges. Living consciously becomes not an endpoint, but a practice, a devoted dance of self-awareness and intentionality. It requires us to stand as both actor and observer, to witness our thoughts while aligning actions with our deepest, most authentic values. In this mindful presence, we craft responses that nurture growth and compassion, transforming life's canvas from routine to an expansive space of exploration and wonder. In embracing change, we step into life's fluid embrace, where growth stems from the courage to dance with uncertainties. Like a river flowing through varied landscapes, we learn to adapt and flourish, leaving behind the stagnation of rigid patterns. Change, though demanding, becomes a trusted companion, guiding us toward a deeper understanding of our potential. This transformation invites us to rewrite our story, shifting perspectives from tales of victimhood to narratives of resilience and wisdom. By focusing on how we've grown from past experiences rather than what has happened to us, we begin to weave stories rich with empowerment and acceptance. Language, our trusty ally in this endeavour, adorns the fabric of our lives with words of strength and renewal, inviting us to shed old cloaks of limitation. Empowerment unfolds as we acknowledge our agency, claiming the authorship of our life's journey. In doing so, we transition from mere characters trapped in a predestined script to active creators, shaping narratives imbued with purpose and dignity. This shift from victim to architect doesn't eradicate past pain, but redefines it as a catalyst for meaningful transformation. Each empowered choice ripples outward, fortifying a legacy of resilience. Listening to our inner intuition, we find guidance beyond the noise of rationality, tapping into a profound well of innate wisdom. In the silence of meditation and present-focused awareness, the whisper of our soul's voice emerges, a beacon pointing toward authenticity and clarity. As intuition becomes our trusted guide, choices align seamlessly with our deepest intentions, illuminating paths that once lay hidden. In this sacred journey, authentic connections become the mirrors through which we behold and transcend our patterns. Engaging in empathetic relationships fosters growth, offering perspectives that nurture clarity and inspiration. Within these connections, vulnerability opens doors to healing spaces where we can explore and rewrite our narratives with newfound courage. Compassion and self-forgiveness form the pillars of transformation, cradling us as we dismantle loops of self-criticism and judgment. Embracing ourselves with kindness, we create a sanctuary for healing, allowing the narrative to evolve into one of love and acceptance. Self-forgiveness, a radical act of love, severs ties to the past, painting life's tapestry with colours of joy and renewal. Presence, the art of being in the moment, becomes our foundation. It invites us to pause and breathe life into the now, crafting a dynamic relationship with the present. In this awakened state, stories transform, and each moment blooms with potential. Presence dissolves the bounds of past loops, granting us the freedom to weave new narratives rich in authenticity and grace. At the heart of this journey lies personal sovereignty, a realization of the inherent power to shape our desired reality. In claiming authorship over our stories, we embrace autonomy and worth, shedding the weight of imposed scripts. With sovereignty, we lead with unity and respect, our choices reflecting the true essence of who we are, unshackled by the echoes of yesteryear. As we draw this chapter to a close, remember that living beyond the loop is an ongoing journey, a gentle commitment to self-discovery and transformation. Allow these stories to guide you towards a life of conscious intent, courage, and enduring grace. If this exploration resonates with you, consider sharing your journey by liking and subscribing to our channel. Let us continue this path together, embracing the sacred dance of personal evolution.